everybody. I am your co-host. I am your podcast host, Charlie Brixton. Well, I feel like a co-host today because I'm really excited. I have one of my two favorite amazing people here. Of course, I have my co-host from time to time, my sister from another distant cousin, like the East and the West, and like orange juice and toothpaste is nasty as hell, but we forget all with vodka, comedian Katie Bogart. And I have, this is like history in the making. This is my, this is my best friend, my grandmother, my mother at the same time, like my Oprah, my everything. My best friend in the whole wide world, Chris.
How are you guys doing? I take on every gender, apparently.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes, you do. You're everything. He's a unicorn.
Would you prefer being called her mother or Oprah more?
I like being called a confidant. I like being called me. Because I think Oprah's great, but we have to be ourselves.
Yes. So speaking of being called, you're gonna hit me for this or maybe not. The title, because I just needed attention, Chris.
Okay.
The title is The Gay 41-Year-Old Opera Singer Who Got to the Pussy. Literally.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It took a while to get there, but you have to go through different stages of what that is for me.
So I kind of want to take it back a little bit, right? And it takes a while to get there because I will never forget speaking to you, and I lost my mind. But growing up, I feel Katie and I, we're the original beards, right? I feel like we were like the kids growing up who hung out, hang out. I remember hanging out with all of my friends, not really knowing, not really talking about sexuality. You just know that you love to be with each other and you love to dance and you love each other. And I remember the fathers would call me a whore because they would think I was the girlfriend to everyone. And I'm like, I'm no one's girlfriend. I'm just hanging it out. If anything, I'm saving your son from hanging out with the youth pastor down the block. Like, stop calling me a whore. But I just felt like we got a bad rap. And I felt like being in the trenches so young, 18, 19, 20, we're all having a good time. At the time, no one is worrying about being a top or a bottom. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing for women in gender roles. Like, we're having a great time. Yeah. And I felt like we're exploring. Exactly. And I felt like
that's a good word.
Right? And I felt like it didn't matter for gay, straight, whatever. At 24, 25, we stopped exploring. Now we're in our boxes. I'm straight. You're gay. You're a top. You're a bottom. I'm queer. I don't know. I felt like
I just think it's more of we start to think more and feel less. And I think sometimes when you feel, that kind of takes some of the box and censorship out of it. And then you can put yourself in the box based on what preconditioned notions of the society, of the people you're with, of the people you grew up with. And those things are powerful things. But then sometimes you have to figure out how you can get yourself out of that. And that takes time. And that's why I love to use the word exploring, because it is an exploration. And you have to explore different things within yourself before you find ways to get to the pussy.
Wow.
Which is lovely.
Speaking of getting to the pussy, segue. I like it. My friend calls me at 1:11 in the morning.
Oh, she remembers the time.
Oh, honey, I do. I was asleep.
I was going to say, she probably was like, why is Chris calling me at 1:11 in the morning?
I was. And you were like, Charlie, I am sexually complete. I am sexually complete. Can you please just, and I can't, and I tell your story all the time. I'm very happy you're here because I can't tell this story. Can you please just give me your experience on your completeness?
So when I mean by sexual complete, actually goes back to the exploration part that we were kind of speaking of before. Because as you're growing up, and I grew up in the South, in Black church, where you have certain rules, certain things you have to abide by, and there's certain feelings that you want to do, but you start thinking about it because you think about how you're going to be perceived. You think about how you feel this way. Okay, is this right or wrong? Because someone said that. You didn't say that. Somebody else said that. And you get to a point where, okay, well, if this is how I should be, if this is going to be where you have someone that's only going to touch you one way, you feel as, okay, I'm just going to be a gay male. I'm going to be not out because you have to be very quiet about who you are. And you deal with sex one way. And you deal with sex either being a bottom, which is how I kind of began. Then you don't understand a little bit other things outside of that because, okay, you look at porno, but then why can't you create your own? Then you get to a point where you say to yourself, okay, I have to grow up. I have to find different things, and then you have your mom or people in your family saying to you, "Well, you were a black male, gay. That you can't be that. Just find a woman, find the pussy." Okay. Don't. As my mom would say, if it ever comes to you, don't run away from it. Go towards it. I wasn't even thinking about that at that time. I was like, okay, what is that? It was some real, 100%. It was real.
Yeah.
But then you say, okay, I'm done. You move on with your life and you start getting yourself into different types of relationships with different guys. They have certain things that they're hiding behind. You have certain things you're hiding behind, but you try to adapt. With me, I feel that I am a strong empath, and I can feel things, and I'm getting to the point where I feel more and think less. But I think that doesn't mean I'm going to be completely let everything go. You still have some semblance of who you are because that establishes who you are. Going into sexual completeness, I don't want to go on a whole sidetrack with that, but the whole thing is what I'm going to say. When you get to a point in your life where you know how it is to receive something inside of you and you know how it is to give. And I think what is great about men and women are glorious beings, which I'm going to end on a very good note with that.
I get so jealous that I can't give.
Because men are, of course, men have that ability. They get their dick hard, they get in there and they do what they need to do. But you also know how it feels, so you know how to become a better top. And I think real tops out there who understand, they know how it feels down there. Then you say to yourself, okay, men, never even thought I would ever be with a woman, because that's nothing I ever thought about.
You used to call my vagina, remember, a festering blister.
Yes, with pus coming out of it and everything else. I thought it was disgusting.
Like seriously, this was like Chris. Like,
I could care less.
Like for decades, all right,
less.
About the vagina, about the pussy. And then what happened?
And then
How did it change? How did it change?
I think what changed was actually our acceptance of a nation of a culture of trans men. And you get to a point where you see men who outwardly look like me, but you never can tell what else is going on because there's so much advancements in technology and science and drugs or whatever. When I met this person, it was late at night, and I was actually already with somebody at the time, but I didn't want to be with him because I was like, I don't feel like this person tonight, so I'm just going to go and find somebody else. So because you have that power to do that.
Oh, I have. That's another episode. You have the power to do that. We will be seeing you again, Chris.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay.
I just want to be the one that walks away, though. I don't want them to walk away from me.
That's true, honey. That's your time. They should always want you more than you want them.
That's gone. That's another episode too.
However, it works both ways because now I'm wanting something a little bit more than I'm used to getting. So, fast forward. I met this person. I came over at night. I knew that this person was FTM, female to male, because I just was like, okay, just see what happens. Just feel it. This person said, have you ever been with a trans man before? I said, yes. Of course I lied, but you have to have confidence in your lie.
I love that. Fake it till you make it.
You have to have confidence in your lie because I'm an actor and I'm also very good at what I do, and I'm a very good lover, and I know that. So, yeah. Oh gosh. I hope I get a lot of people looking me up after this. Anyway,
My Adam for Adam is hashtag.
Oh, that's okay. So this person came over, and I can tell and immediately that there was a sense of like, okay, I'm ashamed, but I have to go through with this. And when I feel that someone doesn't feel comfortable, I'm not going to feel comfortable. So I'm going to make sure that you're in a good place. And initially, when he came over, he was trying to have his back towards me because he wanted me to see his front because his upper body was not done. He would not call his upper body his breast. He goes, yeah, my chest. So I listen to understand, not to respond. It's something I tell everybody in my life, and I think it's something that will help you. In general, regardless of if it's pussy or not, which is glorious. So I decided to go down there and, make sure he felt well. As he came in, he started to ask me a little more, questions about what do I want to do. I said, okay, I just what do we want to do? And then changing that kind of let his guard down a little bit. Then he decided to, get on his knees without even like doing anything intimate. It was like he just assumed a position. And that's when I go back to what I was saying earlier in life when I first started. You get into a position where I have to only receive. That's what it is. That's fine. That's my satisfaction. Then I leave. Yes, you want to have a trick. You can be a quick, fast, and whatever. But where is the? It's fleeting. Those are words like that.
Yeah.
It's you're only putting a Band-Aid on it that it has like some soreness there. You're not trying to heal. So then I just started to slow things down, and with the caress, I started to caress him and rub his back and do things like, listen to his body and how his body was reacting to certain things. So then I started to go down on him and eat him out. Now, again,
Yes, God.
you have to understand, like with a person like this, you have to let them be in control a little bit because you don't know what exactly they're going to want things to be called. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was glorious in the sense that this was like the biggest clitoris I've ever seen in my entire life.
I have big clit in me. I don't have a big clit.
This was just like,
yeah.
and I think, that's when I got to get so more excited about, okay, why is this person shaking when I didn't put my tongue here? Then there was some slowness here. Then I got to the point where he started to like guide my head. So he was like teaching me in this moment, if I'm going to be honest with you.
You know what? You made me cry. You gave a description of, and for me, woman, I have a vagina, right? I have a pussy. And your description of the taste, of the sweetness, of the smell, of the breath, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard a man say about the pussy. Like, seriously. And this was your first time. And it was beautiful. And I wish, like, more women, we can hear this. I mean, more women. Anyone with vagina. It's important. It's beautiful. And I just wish, like...
Yeah, it's the times I've been with, like 3 or 4, trans men, pussy, whatever. I love to fuck it now.
He's the plug. He's the FTM plug. FTM.
But it's each of the different individuals I've been with, they've always said I've taken a shower before. I never questioned these things. Okay. But going down on this the pussy, I call it that right now, but again, I want to be respectful for the people I'm with. But it was just like the warmth, the sweetness, what you put in your body is very important.
Amen. We'll talk about that soon, people. Juice, CMOS, chlorophyll. We'll go there. Trust me, we got you.
But going back to this first time, and as I'm eating him out, excuse me, he's literally, guiding me a little bit in the motion that I'm feeling more warmth and more liquidy substances come out of him. I'm like, this is interesting. This is a glorified taste that is kind of like addicting a little bit. Kind of fast forward to the point where I've made him very comfortable in the sense that we go into my room. Because initially we were in my living room, making it really like a one-night stand trick by, thank you, ma'am. It's meaningless sex. I made meaningless sex make it meaningful for the person that I was with. Because it also was something that I needed to do as well. So even though I lied to him, but I was also excited inside to see how I can make this happen. Of course, initially when I started to do it, I can tell you, I give myself a 6 that first time. Yes, I'm very, very. I have 6, good 6, because there were some things that I was not doing right. I was treating it like it was an ass, and that's not the same thing you should do.
No, honey, it's different.
not.
I agree.
Then he was like, just stroke it, and kind of guiding me a little bit. It was hot though. It was hot. Then.
Can I ask you a question? You, and I've known you for decades, something happened in your own life where it changed, where I feel like you, even from the people you're dating now, like I feel before you used to be like the daddy, the supreme, you know, like you have to be in charge. And I felt like you let go of all that shit. Like, it's not a big deal. I understand, like, as you said before, you're bottoming, you're topping. Like, nothing is a big deal. You are who you are.
Yep. I think there's power in vulnerability. I think the more vulnerable you are, the more powerful you are, because you understand different things, different aspects. And I think sometimes when you put yourself in a position where I have to be this person, because if you're never ever going to be happy if you're not with somebody that's at the same intellectual level as you, and if you feel as if you need to be with somebody who's not at your level, which is happens sometimes, but you're not going to have sustainment. And I feel like I actually said this to you the other day. I think that it's a power in submissiveness, because it's a different place in submissive rules. Because once I have sex and fucking the pussy for like hours, I just want to like clean out and be fucked myself, which is interesting.
Yes!
I would never even like, never even like would think about it as much as like I do now. You know what I mean?
Freedom.
And you know, of course, I get to fuck whatever I want. Be careful at the same time. But what really just changed?
Prep condoms.
Yes, of course.
We're ready for sponsorship.
You must listen. You must always be careful. This beautiful essence of juice on you, and it was very addicting. It was very addicting to like, can you sit here and smell my dick, my pubic hair, the paint, everything. Because this was like, I'm sure people have felt this way before I have felt it. But to have this warmth on top of you, and you see this body shaking in convulsion because they're doing what they got to do. And then all of a sudden, this like essence comes out of them, and you feel it all over you.
Well, you know what, Chris? I'm excited. You're free and you're open, and we're getting ready for the outro. And honey, guess what? And you got to the pussy.
I got there, honey.
I mean, so we're very excited. So, ladies, gentlemen, unicorns, amoeba, it's been a pleasure, y'all. I mean, we talked about it. Y'all may want to play this about 4 more times in process. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the morning time. We love you. Love yourself. Yes, it is, honey. Word of the day, exploration.
That's right.
Yes. And getting to the pussy. Bye. We're good. Good.
Not good. I don't know. Was I rambling too much?
No, it was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
I wish I had